right, guys, Danny Williamson over here, and it is Sunday night, and that means it's Sunday night service. And look who is in the office with me tonight. I know it's hard to see because he's solid black. Well, here's Edwin, and he has grown. Look at this. He has grown. Yes, you have, buddy. He's grown. As soon as you guys get on, hit your heart buttons, hit your like buttons. Edwin is the new office dog. Yes, you are. You're the new office dog. And he's going to be in the supplement store. Actually, he is smarter than we are. We've already decided that he's probably going to be selling supplements before it's over with. He's going to be taking his paws and pointing and saying, no, lady, you don't want that iron. That's the wrong iron for you. But anyway, Edwin's here. He's going to be sitting over here, and I'm going to pray to God that he does not pee in the floor while we're talking here. But all right, Edwin, go play with your ball. Listen, as soon as you get on here, share this with your tribe. This is going to be a fabulous Sunday night service. It's going to be quick. It's going to be fast, and it's going to be on why you would never want to use generic thyroid medication if you can help it. Okay? Now, there are plenty of people, millions of people who use generic levothyroxine every day, and they do okay. They do okay. And I'm going to go through the list on why you would not want to use generic thyroid medicine if you can help it. Okay? All right. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what's going on with you guys, and post your comments up here, and we're going to get busy here. All right. So I've got it pulled up. Edwin's under the table here, and there we go. So, okay. Do you know that in the United States, 9 out of 10 prescriptions filled are for generic drugs? 9 out of 10 prescriptions are for generic drugs, which increases the availability of generic drugs to help create competition in the marketplace. It helps make treatment more affordable for people who cannot afford branded medication, and it helps increase access to health care for more patients. Okay. So 9 out of 10 prescriptions in the United States are filled with generic medications. Now, for the most part, that's okay. But there are certain classifications of drugs that we would never use generic in if, in fact, we can get away with it. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that and what generic medications mean and what the FDA says about bioavailability, how much of the medication has to be in the bloodstream to actually pass, to actually pass. The thyroid is a gland. It is the master gland in your body. It is located right here. It is literally called the master gland for a reason. It controls 100% of the metabolic function in your body. Well, what's that mean? How fast you gain weight, how fast you lose weight, how slow you gain weight, how slow you lose weight. It controls cholesterol. It controls hair loss. It controls dry hair, dry skin, how good you poop, how good you don't poop, diarrhea, constipation, weight gain, weight loss, infertility. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Heart rate. The thyroid speeds up your metabolism or slows down your metabolism. This is why it is so important when you are medicating your thyroid that you take a medication that is actually working. If you have struggled with your thyroid and month to month or every few months or whatever, your TSH does this, your thyroid stimulating hormone does this, and your doctor or your nurse practitioner or your physician's assistant is actually having to tweak your thyroid medicine often and tweak your dosing of it, then you maybe you're on thyroid, maybe you're on generic. Now, maybe you're not. Okay. 60 million or 1 in 5 people in the United States have thyroid problems. 60 million. Do you know that most are undiagnosed. Most people with thyroid problems are undiagnosed. Whoa. Women are diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis and autoimmune disease 8 to 10 times more than men are. Do y'all have any idea why? There's multiple reasons for it. Hormones, or when fluctuating hormones, chemicals, what we put on our body, we put in our body within 26 seconds flat, right? Lotion, makeup, hair color, lipstick, nail polish conditioner, nail polish remover, shampoo. I mean, all the things could contribute to autoimmune disease. Research has shown that physicians are 10 to 20 years behind in what the actual research shows. They're practicing medicine 10 to 20 years behind. It's unbelievable to me. So here's why we're going to get into why you would never take generic thyroid medication if possible. Thyroid medication is a medication that is called a narrow therapeutic index drug, an NTI drug. And what that means is tiny changes in the dosing of that can lead to big changes in the blood and how much is actually absorbed into the blood. Generics. So now here's what I want you to know. For most drugs, whether branded, meaning like Thyroid is branded levothyroxine, okay? Branded Coumadin, branded Coumadin. Then there's generic Coumadin. That's blood thinner, by the way. Whether branded or generic, the concentration of active ingredient is allowed to vary by the FDA to a maximum range of 20%. Up 20% or 10% or down 10%. So there's a maximum range there of 10% variability on either end. Variability, though, gets even broader when a drug goes generic. So here's what I want you to know, and we're going to dig deep into this. Thyroid, which is branded levothyroxine, only one company makes Thyroid. That would be AbbVie, AbbVie. They have about a 3% variance, about 97% strong. 3% variance on either side. So meaning 100 micrograms may be 97%, it may be 103%, which we've shown that 3% doesn't make that much of a difference. So when a drug's brand expires and it's able to go generic, then that becomes very cheap, and then it's a free range out there for manufacturers to pick up levothyroxine. There are multiple manufacturers who make generic levothyroxine, and here's where we get into trouble. The FDA only requires self-reported studies of bioavailability. Remember, bioavailability, what's available in your bloodstream to actually work as medicine. It shows exactly how well the medication is absorbed into the blood. Self-reported from these manufacturers. So who the heck knows if they're telling us or not, if their actual levothyroxine is truly bioavailable. Okay, so the FDA for generics, you're going to be horrified in this. The FDA allows for the bioavailability, how much it works, right, of a generic drug to vary from the branded pharmaceutical Thyroid. We're going to use Thyroid as our branded. From the branded Thyroid, anywhere from a minimum of 80% of that bioavailable to 125% bioavailable. What does that mean? This gives you a 45% variance. Under 20%, meaning 80% effective, all the way up to 125% effective. So what does that mean? From one generic to the next, one generic to the next. This is of particular concern for people who take narrow therapeutic index drugs. Who is that? Thyroid people, high blood pressure people, blood thinners, seizure medications, depression medications. Okay. The problem with such a large variability is that the simple act of refilling your prescription could result in a significant difference in the medication from month to month to month, especially if the manufacturer changes that month. I don't have a prescription bottle in here, but I do have vitamin C. So if you get your prescription bottle, say for 30 days at a time, we're going to talk about 90 days in a minute, but it's made by, I don't know, I'm just going to make up something, Lanet, because Lanet makes a generic thyroid medication. So, and it's, you're taking 100 micrograms of levothyroxine. Well, this month you actually get 80 micrograms. It says 100, but it's 20% less. It is within the range of what the FDA allows, 20% less, but you're actually getting 80 micrograms that month. Or say worse, you get it for 3 months and you're getting 80 micrograms when your body really needs 100 micrograms. Well, the next time your healthcare provider checks your TSH, guess where it's going to be? Up. Your TSH is going to be up. You're going to be heading towards, if not already, hypothyroid. Well, what if this is your bottle and this month it's 100 micrograms, but you actually get 125 micrograms, and you start getting anxious and you start getting heart palpitations and you start having diarrhea and you start losing weight, which you probably don't tell your healthcare provider about that, right? And then that goes on for 3 months because they haven't checked you. They're not going to check your labs because you know what? Maybe you see your healthcare provider once a year. And now you're getting 125 micrograms of generic thyroid medicine when it says 100 on your bottle, and you're just all over the place and you think you're having panic attacks and you're going to the emergency room and they check your thyroid there and they check your TSH and it's like 0.02 and you're extremely hyper. You're on a generic thyroid medication. Maybe. I mean, you could be on branded as well. It could be that you just lost weight and what have you, and your thyroid went hyper. So it is extremely important that we do not use generic thyroid medication if at all possible. Now, it's dirt cheap. It's like $2 on some plans, maybe free on other plans. Generic medication is perfectly fine with something like Benadryl. Who the heck cares if you get 100, if you get more than 25 milligrams of Benadryl? Usually it's 25 milligrams, I think. You know, if you get 35 milligrams, that's all right. You just sleep better. I mean, I don't know. I don't take Benadryl, but it doesn't really matter. You're going to get the relief from Benadryl one way or the other. Okay. So it's okay with things like that. It's okay even with, well, I mean, all kinds of things, but not with pharmaceuticals, medications, and classes of drugs that have a narrow therapeutic index, period. You can't do it. I'm telling. So what does that mean again? A narrow therapeutic index. It means slight changes in the drug dosing is going to cause a change in your in your blood dosing, in the serum blood levels. Blood thinners, imagine, you don't want to bleed out or have a stroke from generic Coumadin because your blood got too thick and you were using a generic thyroid medication. It's the same thing with seizure medication. Seizure medication, if you got a generic, say, Keppra, which is a seizure medication, and it was too low, it was 80% what your prescription was, you could very easily have a massive seizure. People think I'm crazy about this. And there are endocrinologists who actually tell their patients there's no difference in thyroid medicine. endocrinologists, and I'm not saying endocriminologists like half the time I really want to say, endocrinologists study the endocrine system. The thyroid is the master gland of the endocrine system. They actually tell patients there's no difference in thyroid medication, generic or not generic. That's bullshit, people. Do not listen to that. Okay? So remember, if you're on 100 micrograms of Synthroid or of levothyroxine and it's generic, you may get 80 micrograms that month. You may get 85. You could get 90. You could get 95. It's possible you got 98 and you're just fine. Or you may get 110 or 112 or 115 or even up to 125. So if you're on this roller coaster of health with your thyroid, you might want to consider that it's actually the thyroid pill that you're taking. Now we're going to talk what's generic and what's not. Okay. One way around it is to just say you can't afford. And I totally understand that. I went through decades in my life where I probably could not afford. Number one, every Synthroid has a copay card. Synthroid has a direct. It's called Synthroid Direct. And I think, now I'm not sure, don't hold me to this, it's like $60 something for 3 months of Synthroid. That's not cheap. That's not as cheap as it would be if it were generic levothyroxine, but it is well worth the money. Tammy, I'm going to answer questions here. I'm so grateful that y'all put a ton of questions up here. And what we'll do, because this is going to be real short, is I'll go through and ask your questions if that's okay with you. If y'all are okay with that, hit your heart buttons and I'll go through one question at a time. If I don't know it, I'll get back to you. But I literally have hundreds, and I mean hundreds of thyroid patients because that's the bulk of my practice. I have 1, 2, maybe 3 patients out of, several hundred patients that are on generic thyroid medicine. And 2 of them came in on generic and they were doing fine and they didn't need anything. They didn't need me to change it. So what I did on the prescription, I write on the prescription every single time I see them, levothyroxine, 100 micrograms, and I put at the bottom, same manufacturer every time. Now, and I write it for 90 days. 90 days is going to be better than 30 days because if you get it for 90 days, at least, your steady state, whether it's hypo or hyper, it could be spot on, at least for 3 months. I say same manufacturer every time, but I can't guarantee that the pharmacy is going to give you that. And you want to know why? Because pharmacies are like us. They shop things on sale. So there's different prices for all of these different manufacturers who make thyroid medicine or any medication, and they're going to buy in bulk what is cheapest from their supplier. All of these medicines come from these gigantic suppliers, and they have warehouses all full of every medicine known to man. Whatever they've bought that's cheap that time is what you're going to get. And that's just as simple as that. They may have to order your thyroid medicine in for you, the same manufacturer each time. Well, that's great. Ask them to do that. But you cannot go in there when you have 2 pills left and they're out of it and it takes a week to get it in. You do have to take some responsibility on that. But the 3 people that I have on generic thyroid medicine, they stay really 99.9% of the time stable. Now, the one patient, one time where I refuse to do it, I don't start anyone on generic, but I will if they're already in there or what have you. If a patient is pregnant, you for darn sure don't want to be on generic thyroid medicine because you're building a baby and we are giving you thyroid medicine for 2 people in there. You never, ever, ever want to take generic thyroid medicine for that. So some ways around all of this, check your bottles every time before you leave the pharmacy. You check your bottle if you're on branded thyroid medicine and make sure it says, if it's Synthroid by AbbVie, not generic for Synthroid. That's how they trick you. And they'll see Synthroid, but they won't see the teeny tiny generic. If you drive away from that pharmacy or walk out of the pharmacy, that's your bottle. You paid for it and it is yours. You cannot return it. But if your healthcare provider wrote on there, dispense as written, then they legally cannot give you a generic thyroid medicine. But that has to be written on there. DAW, brand medically necessary or necessary. I don't know how. I put DAW on it, branded only. I write it in 2 different places, and then I write a big note in the note section. But you check your bottle before you ever leave the pharmacy. That's one way to make sure you're not getting generic. Take your thyroid medicine properly. This has nothing to do with branded or not branded. Most people do not know how to take their thyroid medicine. And we're going to do, if you all want me to do a Sunday night service on just thyroid, hypothyroid, Hashimoto's, how to take your medicine, go through all the different thyroid medications. We're not doing this tonight. We're only talking about generic medicine tonight. If you want me to do that, hit your heart buttons and I will do that because I have a presentation ready for you all. But I want you to know this, which has nothing to do with generic. There's a specific way you take your thyroid medicine, and I need you to listen this, and I need you to listen to it closely and maybe rewind and listen again when it's over. Rewind. We don't do that. That's showing my age. Thyroid medicine has to be taken 4 hours away from any iron, calcium, dairy, soy, walnuts, grapefruits, Tums, proton pump inhibitors. Anybody's on that knows what those are. Magnesium, cottonseed oil, which you wouldn't take. That's in baby formula and all that stuff. 4 hours away. What does that mean? That means when you get up in the morning, you cannot put your oat milk in your coffee and drink that an hour, 30 minutes or an hour and a half after you've taken your thyroid medicine. Because there's 20 milligrams of calcium in 1 tablespoon of oat milk. Most people use a lot more than 1 tablespoon, right? They pour that booger in and want to pour it out. Here, 4 hours away. Many people don't know that. Most people who come into my clinic for the very first time have no clue that they have to be 4 hours away. I mean, completely empty stomach, same time every day. We have a 24-hour circadian rhythm. You take your thyroid medicine the same time every day. If you're using half and half, which I hope to goodness you're not, don't take anything, Lori, with your thyroid. Nothing. No D3 because it may have K2 in it. Nothing. Your thyroid is a narrow therapeutic index drug. It doesn't play well with other drugs or supplements or foods. It has to be alone. So this is oat milk that's got a lot of calcium in it. For darn sure, don't take it near half and half or dairy. You shouldn't be doing that anyway, but creamer, all of that, 100% away. I didn't have much here because I don't take iron and I don't take, I don't have any soy here and I don't have any of that. But I do have magnesium here. Most people don't take their magnesium in the morning if they take their thyroid medicine in the morning, but don't ever take your thyroid medicine near your magnesium. It has to be 4 hours away. This is the vitamin C that I use in the office. This vitamin C, which vitamin C does not disrupt thyroid, although you would still take everything away from thyroid. This vitamin C has magnesium and calcium in it. So you would never take this vitamin C around your thyroid medicine. If you start new supplements, you look at everything and make sure there is nothing that will interact with your thyroid medicine because you can't monkey around with this. And we spend a lot of time in my office educating patients on how to take their thyroid medicine because they have no idea. Many people have suffered for decades with it going like this, and their doctor or nurse has never asked them, how do you take your medicine? And sometimes I have patients who go, great. Well, I had to call a patient this afternoon. Here's a good case. She's 75 years old. She's been pretty steady on her thyroid. I don't manage her thyroid, but her TSH is 7.5 or 7.8 right now. It was 3 something last time. And I think she's taking something that's interfering with it. And so she's going to call her doctor and all. And I educated her again on how to take it. The people who do the best with their thyroid medicine do it one of 2 ways. If you don't take magnesium at night, or if you don't take calcium at night, or really anything when you go to bed, take your thyroid medicine at bedtime on a completely empty stomach. So you can't snack and eat ice cream at 10 o'clock and go to bed at 10:30 and take your thyroid medicine. You can't do that. I mean, it's just, you can't. It's not going to work. The people who do the best take it in the middle of the night. You heard me. They take it 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. If you get up later than 6, you can take it 4 in the morning. But 1, 2, 3 in the morning, those people who take it 7 nights a week at 1, 2, 3 or ish in the morning absolutely have the steadiest thyroids I've ever seen in my life. So that's a little pearl for you all. Yes, Charlotte, take it up. Take it when you get up to pee. Absolutely. That is hands down. If you get up to pee 7 nights a week, I don't. Now, I've had a dog in the house for 7 days, and so I've been woken up most nights for 7. I don't get up in the night. Praise God, knock on wood, not yet. I haven't. But if you take your thyroid medicine in the middle of the night, it is absolutely almost guaranteed that you're going to have a steady state thyroid. Even if you're taking a generic thyroid medicine. Yeah, Janie, it works out really well to take it in the middle of the night. But I'm telling you, most people have no idea how to take thyroid medicine, and they don't have any clue that you can't take generic thyroid medicine most of the time. Synthroid is branded. Armor is branded. NP Thyroid is branded. WP and Nature Thyroid were branded, but now those are all pig thyroids. Tiracent is liquid T4, and somebody on here said they were taking Tiracent. Tiracent just went generic. They lost the patent on Tiracent. And so you need to be real careful now, because for years it was only Tiracent. There was no generic for it. Now there's one company who's already making it, and there's a second one who's in the process, one lab, a pharmaceutical company who's getting ready to do it. So you need to make sure, I don't know where that comment was, if you're taking Tiracent, that you're not getting a generic for it. Does it have to be the same every night, Laura? Ideally, within an hour or 2. Yes, not exactly 2:57 every morning, but ideally, it would be within an hour or 2. 7 nights a week. I can't tell you how many people skip thyroid medicine. That's not good. It's not good. And when your thyroid's off, everything is off. Oh, here's my grade school friend, Jeannie. 5 a.m. every morning. I had no idea about the interference. I have been taking vitamin. No, Jeannie Allen. And you, I know I'm not your healthcare provider, but you do have an endocrinologist, I think. You told me in Madisonville or Evansville or somewhere like that. They should have taught you how to take your thyroid medicine, for crying out loud. It's cheaper on all of you if you take it correctly. But if you don't know how to take it, now Synthroid actually has an insert, but nobody reads it. It tells you 4 hours away from iron, soy, dairy, walnuts, grapefruits, cottonseed oil, and so much more. Yeah, Jeannie, you are not the only person who is not taking it correctly. Now, I don't know, maybe your thyroid has been as steady as anything, but ideally, if you change that, it's hopefully going to get much better. If you don't get up in the middle of the night, would you recommend you take it when you go to bed? Yes, but Kathy, as long as you're not taking magnesium at bedtime, my suggestion would be if you take a probiotic at night, then back your probiotic up, take it maybe after dinner or something like that. Low dose naltrexone and thyroid medicine don't seem to interfere with each other. I have a lot of people who take it, but your stomach needs to be empty. We don't need to be eating at night anyway. We don't need to snack after dinner. So if you will eat your dinner at a reasonable hour, around 5, 6, something like that. If you go to bed at 9 or 10, I go to bed at 9 till I got dang Edwin down there, and then it's just all out of whack. But Kathy, try that and see what happens. Yes, almond milk can be an issue. I didn't have any almond milk in there to look at, but look at the calcium content and see if there's calcium in it. I don't know if they add calcium to it, but oat milk has a lot of calcium in it. And I had a patient this week. She had changed over to oat milk since our last visit, and we believe that's what created her TSH to go up. Now, I won't know that until we recheck her labs in about 8 weeks. Melatonin, I don't have any research on that, and I don't know exactly, but what I am telling you all just assume that most everything is going to get in a friggin' fight with your thyroid medicine. Thyroid medicine is like iron. Neither one of them play well in anybody else's sandbox. Iron needs to be alone just with vitamin C. Everything else binds to iron. Thyroid medicine is the same way. I don't know about melatonin. We'll have to check that. Although, ideally, and you may not know this, Demetra, and maybe you do, maybe you're smarter than me because most people are. Melatonin is actually supposed to be taken right now. It's 6:30. The sun's going down out there. Our melatonin naturally is rising in our body, but ours isn't because I'm sitting in front of a ring light. I've got lights all around me. Our melatonin is all messed up. You're supposed to take your melatonin as the sun's going down. Now, if you took it at 6:30 and you went to bed at 9:30 or 10, you'd be completely fine. I take Tiracent, but I get it from the pharmacy in Mississippi that I recommended. Yes, that is Highland Specialty Pharmacy. They are not going to go generic. Now, you can confirm that with them, but they are specific for branded Synthroid. So I don't think you have any trouble, any problem, but always ask your pharmacist. You are paying for your pharmacist's job. If it weren't for you, he wouldn't have a salary. So use your pharmacist. They're very, 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 very smart. Yes, just like me. Sometimes I'm smart, Laura. That's when we're supposed to take melatonin. We are. You're very, very welcome. Okay, I'm going to go through this right here. Oh, I don't know, Donna, if I'm such a great teacher or not. I hope I can. I hope I am. That's my goal, is to teach university level when I get done with all this, and just go around and lecture and teach and speak at conferences and teach and teach and teach. That's why I wrote this book, so that I hopefully could teach millions of people. All right, I'm going to start at the top up here, and I'm going to go through. Murfreesboro, Kansas. Yes, we love Edwin. Sarah, I love you too, Sarah Laporte, but we do love Edwin. Yes, Cindy, Tiracent is fine. Just make sure has not been switched over to generic. Tammy, I know you take Synthroid because I think I'm the one who switched you to that, but I may be wrong. My hometown for 20-something years. Paducah's on here. Hey, Lisa, how are you, my friend? All right, let me see what Lori Kimball says. When I worked at Vanderbilt in the Coumadin clinic, that's blood thinner clinic, by the way. Basically the blood thinner clinic. The pharmacist there would not prescribe generic warfarin because when he did, the patient's INR would be off, how fast they clot blood. Drugs that depend consistent and accurate blood levels should always be branded. Absolutely. So I want to tell you about this. Vanderbilt has actually only uses, their employees are required to use branded Synthroid if they're using Synthroid, which I think that's a great thing from Vanderbilt. Hypothyroidism, what's it say? Taking Synthroid, also diagnosed with PCOS, taking spironolactone, have symptoms of depression, acne, irregular period, weight gain, hair loss, oily face, heart palps. Yeah, like 99.9% of the patients that come into my office. Now, that's a loaded question right there. Number one, okay, so you are on branded Synthroid, so that's good. Maybe you're overcorrected. Maybe your diet is not a clean, whole food diet, right? no gluten, no dairy, no sugar. It's key. It's key. We can't heal the gut. We can't heal the thyroid. We can't heal the brain, the depression, the anxiety, the ADD, the ADHD, the joint pain, the migraine headaches, the irritable bowel syndrome, the depression, the high blood pressure, the diabetes, the PCOS. The list goes on and on until we heal the gut. What's at the end of your fork, ladies and gentlemen, is way more powerful than what's at the bottom of your pill bottle. Charlotte, I have a brand new patient tomorrow that I'm seeing. She lost half of her thyroid in 2019 to thyroid cancer, the second part of 2019. So she lost her entire thyroid. And I haven't met her yet. It'll be interesting. Most people say what you're saying right here. Now, the patient that I'm seeing tomorrow had two different kinds of thyroid cancer, papillary and follicular. She didn't have a choice. You remove your thyroid if you have thyroid cancer. I mean, you just don't keep your thyroid in there. Nodules, that's a different story. And I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I hope that you can find a provider who can maybe give you some T3. If you have no thyroid, and we're not talking about T3 tonight, if you have no thyroid, then you need a little bit of extra T3 like Cytomel or liothyronine. Or maybe some ashwagandha to help your body convert T4 to T3, or maybe some selenium to help you. MP thyroid, there you go, and liothyronine. Yes. Trauma, I'm not quite sure what it relates to, but trauma absolutely destroys our body and creates horrific inflammation in our body. It causes your white blood cells to burst and it creates inflammation, just like stress does. Can someone have thyroid problems? Oh, absolutely. So most of the time that's called subclinical hypothyroidism. You just haven't flipped into hypo yet. And we really don't address that. You're having all the symptoms, the hair loss, the dry skin, the fatigue, the foggy headedness, the joint pain, the constipation, the high cholesterol. High cholesterol is a big indicator of thyroid, by the way. You may not know that. If your thyroid is not managed well, oftentimes your cholesterol is that's a big key sign. So yes, you can. Now, you can take thyroid supplements, and we'll talk about this. I'll just do a Sunday night service about supplements to boost your thyroid, things like ashwagandha and selenium and thyroid glandular supplements and selenium and zinc and googles and a little bit of iodine. I mean, there's lots of things you can do to boost your energy and boost your thyroid production. So yes, that is a really great question, actually, right there. Jeannie, what does that say? She knows what she's talking about. I was on levothyroxine and having trouble. Per her advice, I talked to my doctor about changing to Synthroid. My levels have been better than ever, and I have my friend to thank for this. So Jeannie and I have been friends since grade school. When I was in the emergency room and Jeannie, I'm going to break a HIPAA violation here. Are you okay with that? Hit your heart buttons if you are, or your heart button if you are. When I had my brief 6-month stint, or maybe less than that, in the emergency room, my first job out of nurse practitioner school, I was a nurse midwife and a family practice. Well, I still am a nurse midwife and a family practice nurse practitioner. Okay. Jeannie comes into the ER with a sliced up finger, and guess who got her? Me. And I sewed her finger up in the emergency room. And then I got fired right after that because I wasn't smart enough. But, anyway, Jeannie and I have been friends forever, and I highly recommend if you have friends from grade school, like we've been friends almost 50 years, not quite, but almost 50 years, and hang on to those people. Hang on to those people. Oh, listen to this, Charlotte. Shouldn't your pharmacy inform you if they want to switch you to another brand? I'm not laughing at you, Charlotte. I'm laughing at, yeah, they sure should inform you. They should tell you, but they don't have to by law. They can give you whatever manufacturer they want. They're not switching. Well, they are switching brands, but generically, it's all generic levothyroxine. So they'll be switching manufacturer. They'll go from just say Lanet to Mylan to, I don't know who makes Pfizer. I don't know. I don't think they make any of that. AbbVie, blah, blah, blah. They don't have to tell you. They don't have to tell you. So if you're on generic, have your healthcare provider write on there. Number one, get 90 days at a time. Number two, have them say same manufacturer each time. You can't guarantee it, but become best friends with your pharmacist and tell them, I can't do this. They know about narrow therapeutic index drugs, but healthcare providers, they just are busy. They don't do it. Yeah, why is it allowed? Absolutely. Why is it allowed? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. That's exactly right. Because most of the time it doesn't matter. But for the narrow therapeutic index drugs, it does. So if any of your family members are on seizure medicine or blood thinners or depression meds, you're on Prozac and it's dependent, like, for your health. It's real important to take branded. Okay. All right, guys. Is there an endocrinologist you recommend around Nashville? Yes, I love Dr. Pascal Dauphin, Dauphin. He's in Hendersonville. He's excellent, but he's seeing less and less patients, and his nurse practitioners and physician's assistants are seeing more and more. But he's excellent. Dr. Laura Holler, Holler, out here in Williamson County, is really good. I haven't met her yet, but I've sent several patients to her and people like her. It's real hard to find somebody who'll listen to you, who believes in T3, who believes in Hashimoto's, who believes in good thyroid medicine and all that. I don't know. Jackson is in medical school. My son is, and I'm praying to God that he becomes an endocrinologist or at least, but he probably won't, or at least an internal medicine doctor or family practice doc where he could specialize then in thyroid. I think he would be so busy, he wouldn't even know what happened. If your T3 is low, can you take a T3 supplement? Well, T3, yes, you can take a T3 prescription, which is leothyronine, but, getting your endocrinologist to write that might be difficult. They don't believe in it. Dr. Dauphin does believe in the power of T3 because it is literally the gas pedal of your body. T3 supplements, you could take a glandular. We don't have a separate like T3 supplement, but glandulars or ground up pig or cow glands, thyroid glands that also have T3 in it that could help. Maybe yes, but we already talked about this. Take it up when you get up to pee. Take it when you get up to pee. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, what else we got on here? My mom takes hers when she my mom takes hers and then gets breakfast of dairy, sugar, and starches. No, 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 no. Maybe she's well medicated. Who knows? Or managed. Okay, guys. So yes, Jeannie, it is good info, but just know, your thyroid is picky. It is a booger. It is a booger. It does not like anybody to be around anything. So just take it alone. Why does the middle of the night make a difference? 1, 2, 3, 4. It doesn't matter. Well, because it's an empty stomach, Laura. Their stomach is empty. They're not getting up, hopefully, at 4 a.m. and eating a big breakfast and a bunch of dairy and all that stuff and all to interfere with it. So when you have an empty stomach and you got 4 hours on either side of it, it makes way more sense to do it in the middle of the night. I have some patients who literally set the alarm on their phone for 2 a.m. and they take it. It's right on their nightstand. They don't have to get up out of bed. They take it, they swallow it, and they go right back to sleep, and they do fine. Once you start feeling really good, you'll do whatever in order to feel good. Yes, all the Mississippi. Okay, I'm already going back down here again. Okay, are there any other questions? I feel good. I haven't had a thyroid test. Okay, we'll keep doing what you're doing. What I would ask your pharmacist, though, if you can keep it the same every 90 days. Again, befriend, and befriend your pharmacist. They are your best friend. Yes, Tammy, this is an excellent question. If you do not have a thyroid, you must take your thyroid medicine until you take your dying breath. You cannot live without your thyroid. You can live without your gallbladder, your appendix, your right pinky, your arm, your leg. You cannot live without your full thyroid. Now, I have many patients who have half a thyroid and they're still not on thyroid medicine. The other half has compensated. But yes, when you lose your thyroid, this is why, ladies and gentlemen, it is so important to protect your thyroid. Never, ever put perfume near your thyroid, lotion near your thyroid. You have x-rays, mammograms, you get a thyroid guard that goes over your thyroid. You protect this like there's no tomorrow, because what you put on your body, you put in your body within 26 seconds flat. And perfume is nothing but chemicals, nothing but chemicals. The bulk of my patients with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, autoimmune, they sprayed perfume all over themselves, so nothing goes near your thyroid. Nothing goes near your thyroid. Mine was taken out because it was enlarged, no cancer, just a surgeon that wanted a new car. Amen to that. There are so many things we can do to watch and wait with an enlarged thyroid or nodules or cyst. And then worst case scenario, you have to have it removed. But I'm sorry that happened. I am sorry, but we can make the best of it now. Clean your diet up. Clean your diet up. Eat well, sleep well, move well, poop well, decrease stress, cultivate community, all the things. Pull out every stop known to man, because you just had the master gland removed. And we got to do everything in our power to protect it. Well, prednisone for 32 years, Margie, interferes with a lot in your body, doesn't it? And you know that. And it'll raise your blood sugar and a lot of things. You don't take them close to each other. So if you've been taking it together, separate it. And I think you will feel better. Prednisone, for those of you that don't know, is a steroid. And so it can interfere with a whole lot of things in your body. Yes, Jeannie, we have lots of stories. We have hair coloring stories too. We have raising children stories. We both, well, you can tell them where we live together. We lived in a trailer park. I'll tell them. We lived in a trailer park together when I got married. The first place I lived in was it wasn't even a double wide. It was like a trailer and a half or something with my ex-husband. And Jeannie lived two trailers down. Cypress Lakes. Oh my gosh, we have some stories. Holy cow. My late father-in-law was an old school MD, family practice, surgery, etc. I love that practical medicine advice. Yes, common sense, practical medicine. We have lost that. That's what this whole book is about. The entire book is on common sense, practical medicine. I'm a lot of things, but I've got a lot of common sense, and that's how I practice medicine. Garbage in equals garbage out. Well, this isn't going to work if this. What the heck? Think, use your brain. It's not rocket science, a lot of this at all. Oh, yes, you should follow me. I've been teaching my mom. Yes, I know, Donna. I know. Placing my pills by the toilet tonight. Well, if I put mine by the toilet, I would drop mine in. So good luck, Charlotte. Good gosh, how in the world do you do that? Good for you. Put them there tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Put them on your nightstand, whatever you have to do. Oh my gosh, there's so many questions. Will you talk about thyroid eye disease? I won't tonight, but I will later. And this is not my expertise, Lori. I send patients to endocrinology for that, because that you don't monkey around with. Once your thyroid eye disease has started, you need an incredible, of course, ophthalmologist, not an optometrist, and an endocrinologist working with you. That gets a little serious. Yeah, so what I put on my neck is organic jojoba oil. I do use Crunchy, because Crunchy makeup has nothing, or Crunchy skincare has nothing in it that's going to interfere with the thyroid, or no chemicals in it. So I do use Crunchy, and I use organic jojoba oil, and it soaks in beautifully. You can also use organic avocado oil. I alternate between those two. Beauty Counter. Beauty Counter is not nearly as clean as Crunchy. I used Beauty Counter for probably 6 or 7 years. And then when I was educated on Crunchy, I switched from Beauty Counter, because Beauty Counter still has a whole lot of endocrine disruptors that are outlawed in Europe in it, and crunchy does not. So Beauty Counter is great. They're way better than, of course, my mom said she used olive Olay, for 60 years, and her skin looks great, looks better than mine. But crunchy is hands down the cleanest one that I have found. I personally would not take anything with my thyroid medicine. If you've been taking your blood pressure medicine, your beta blocker with it for years, then maybe it's okay. But I personally would not do it. And yes, you are so right about name brand. I was switched without them telling me, and it messed me up for 18 months after just 30 days of the wrong medicine. Yes, I don't know if this is Beth or Stephen, but either one, absolutely, it will. Yes, Donna, I love crunchy as well. It's hands down the best I've ever used. It's not cheap, but it is phenomenal. It's on our website. You guys can look it up. I mean, I can type it in, but it's crunchi.com. Just research it /Danny Williamson right there. I just typed it in for you guys. This is not a crunchy advertisement. What do you use for makeup? I use crunchy. I've used it for 3 years, CRUNCHI. It's fantastic. And there it is right there. You can take a picture of that if you want. But again, it's not cheap. But I am a big believer. I'm not getting any younger, and I did not take good care of my skin for a lot of years. And it's taken about 3 years to reverse some damage, but it's working. They do a great job. If you just research them and read their website, you'll be blown away at what's in our skincare. And this company was by a nurse practitioner. So again, it makes a difference. It's not just how you take your thyroid medicine, it's what you put near your thyroid and on your thyroid. Does thyroid medication cause osteoporosis? Amazing question, Rhonda. Yes, it is a contributor to it. If you are overcorrected, and we do know that long-term thyroid medication users, Synthroid is the big one, do have a higher rate of osteoporosis oftentimes. For sure, if you're overcorrected, you're going to turn that bone over quicker. Overcorrected meaning like hyperthyroid. Your provider keeps your TSH super, super, super low, which is against the guidelines, by the way, to keep it super low, but it will leach calcium out of the bones. And yes, you are correct about that. So if you've been on long-term thyroid medicine, you need to have a bone density scan, a DEXA scan, DEXA scan. We're going to talk about all that when I talk about hypothyroid. This was only going to be 25 minutes. You people, look what you all have done. You've kept me here, or I've kept you all, because I always worry about that. I go too long here. Are there any other questions? If you guys have any questions, I will answer them after this, because I know I take your time seriously. And I'm so grateful that you guys are on here tonight. Share this with your tribe, but share this with your people. I also have a YouTube channel. It's Danny Williamson Wellness. I have literally hundreds of Sunday night services on there. Dr. Motley and I started off, and we have hundreds of Sunday night services. I have several thyroid ones on there as well. Healthiest way to build bone, Karen. Well, good question. Weight training. I've got dumbbells in there in my laundry room, basic weight training, push-ups, planks. Get down and do 5 push-ups. Do as many as you can. Do 1 push-up and then hold that plank for as long as you can. Do a 30-day plank challenge. Bone on bone. You're building bone. As you resist bone here, you're building bone. So that's what we want to do, is weight training, not machines at the gym. You want to do hardcore lifting. Not hardcore, I don't mean a ton of weight, but real weights. The old school dumbbells, push-ups, planks, jumping jacks, anything that's going to create pressure like that, shocking the bone there, helping you build bone. When am I coming to Bowling Green? Jill, November, I've got several dates scheduled. I think I'm going to be on the news there, WKBO. I'm going to be at Beatbox Market on November the 7th. It's a Sunday afternoon. We don't know the time yet, doing a book signing. It's 2 days before the book's released, actually, and a talk. And I'm actually going to be there. I'm going to be at multiple places. I'm going to be at the pharmacy, Sheldon's with Mary Lee. I'm going to be with the gal from Papagallo. I'm going to be doing a big thing there in some workout studio. We got dates. I'm going to get it for you. All right, guys. I know we're running over. So, all right, Karen, what are you saying here? You guys are, I've heard that calcium can contribute to heart disease. Is that true? Absolutely. In fact, I don't recommend calcium at all by itself. Calcium builds up in the arteries and does create heart disease. So then you've got to counteract all of this. If you've ever taken calcium at all, you've got to take vitamin K27. Vitamin K27 pulls calcium out of the arteries, lays it down on the bones. K27 is the number one tier treatment for osteoporosis in Japan. In Australia, calcium is very controversial. I don't know if it's outlawed, but it is highly recommended you don't take calcium there. The country of Australia, they don't recommend it. And so that's a great question. A really great question there. Let me see here. Thanks so much. Oh, from Benton, Charlotte. Thank you. You know, that's my hometown right there. I graduated from Marshall County High School. So I will be there at a centered space doing a book signing in November or December. I don't know. We've got a big list we're getting ready to share with you guys, actually. I appreciate you guys. I stream my bar classes and do it 5 or 6 days a week. That's exactly right. Planks. Calcium, you know, old school docs are still recommending calcium, and it breaks my heart with people now. Strontium for bone health, vitamin K27, some magnesium, maybe with a little tiny bit of calcium in it, but not much. I would prefer you get your calcium from your leafy greens. And, you know, we could talk about all this stuff forever. We could be on here forever. We could do us a Zoom. We could do us some sort of webinar. Better than my doctor. That's because I'm a nurse, Laura. That's terrible. I shouldn't say that. My son's going to be a doctor. I told him to come back and practice with me, but my name's always going to be above his until I retire or I am dead. It's going to say nurse practitioner, Danny Williamson, nurse practitioner, Jackson Hobgood, doctor, you know, below. All right, guys, listen, next week there won't be a Sunday night service because I'm on the board, you know, I work with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, and I'm going to be at the Sounds baseball game working the table for raising money and raising awareness for suicide prevention. I have our Out of Darkness walk is October the 30th. Any of you are welcome to join my team and walk with it. We are Wild and Well walkers for suicide prevention, and we have a big team already. There's over 10 of us that are on the team. We're raising money for suicide prevention. It's a mission near and dear to my heart. So next Sunday I will be working the Sounds game here in Nashville. Order the book, please. The book has been number 1 and number 2 on Amazon, back and forth for several months. Now it's number 3 tonight. I looked. But the ebook has already been released, Kindle e-readers. If you go on to Amazon and download the ebook, you can actually leave a review. And of course, reviews are what book buyers look at to put it in their bookstore. And I only have 6 reviews because I'm not famous or anything. So if you guys use Kindle, even if you've already ordered your book, you can order the ebook and read it now, and then leave a review and then get your book. And if you don't want the book, it's beautiful though, you can give it away as a Christmas gift. So I'm so excited. It's got 5, it only has 6 reviews, but it is all 5 stars. So that makes me real happy. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I love you. Edwin is under my feet. Otherwise I would pick him up. He's sound asleep. And I don't know what I was thinking getting a dog, but it's been so much fun. Yeah, he wants to be a functional medicine doctor is what he wants to do. But of course he's going through traditional training now. And, but he's loving it. It's hard as heck. He's loving it, but he's doing great. He is. All right, my friends, I appreciate, what does this say? Do you have an ad page we can share with others on social media? What's that mean, an ad page? I have Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. All of those are shared. My website, of course, has everything on it about the book and the countdown and all that stuff. So, all right, my friends, I appreciate you. Remember, ask your doctor about your thyroid medicine. Make sure that it is not generic. Okay. Not generic. For my book, an ad page, we can share those for the book. Well, Amazon, I don't have an ad page. Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, they all picked it up. Parnassus Books, I'm so blessed. Powell Books, you can share, you can buy it for everywhere you buy books. Make sure you get your thyroid medicine branded. If you're getting generic, make sure it's 3 months at a time. Take your thyroid medicine 4 hours away from everything. I mean, everything. I don't care what your healthcare provider says, they're practicing behind what the research shows. If you can take it in the middle of the night, take it. That's going to be ideal. But don't also disrupt your sleep. And just know that you're not broken. You weren't born broken. You're not broken. You weren't born with hypothyroidism. You weren't born depressed. You weren't born with anxiety. You weren't born with migraine headaches. We turn every bit of that on. And I am living proof what you turn on, lupus, you can turn off or you can dial it back greatly. But you've got to believe in the power of healing. And our bodies are designed to heal themselves. They want to right ship. They want to be 150%. Give it what it needs. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you people. I'm going to be in Marshall County Saturday in Gilbertsville, Kentucky at the Good Woo Festival at A Centered Space. I'm going to have all the books there for sale ahead of time if anybody wants a book. And I am going to have supplements. If anybody needs supplements, anxiety stuff, you name it, I'm bringing it. All the immune system stuff, our multivitamins, our GABA, L-theanine, melatonin. I've got a whole booth set up and the book. So it'll be at the Good Woo Festival, A Centered Space. Look it up on Facebook. It's a huge event. They're doing a gigantic Highway 641 big day of celebration Saturday. It's like 11 businesses of my hometown. I mean, literally where I grew up is 1 mile from A Centered Space. So I'll be there. Come see me. Even if you don't want a book, if you don't want anything, just come say hi to me. Do you need to drink water when taking? Well, if you're taking Synthroid, most people swallow it. Now, if you're taking desiccated pig thyroid, a lot of people chew it and then they just put a little water in afterwards. So you don't have to drink water, not at all. You can chew it and just be done with it and swallow it. You don't have to. All right, guys, love you, appreciate you. 62 minutes. This is why I was voted most talkative my senior year in high school. Art Vance and me. All right, have a good one, guys. Go meal prep. Remember, get out there, eat well, sleep well, move well, poop well, decrease stress. Go text somebody. No, better yet, go call somebody and talk to them tonight before you go to bed.